All right, so we're calling today a community open house, and it really serves an engagement opportunity to allow questions and comments. This has been a very long process for the town to establish tree preservation standards, and so we wanted to provide a venue to at least download all of the factors of the new ordinance, how it will be implemented, keys that were made, how we got to where we are, and again, just providing an opportunity to engage as much as we can. We share this with all of our contractors, so that would include landscape architects, design teams, architects, our tree professionals, tree care professionals, arborists, landscape builders. So those who are online, thank you for joining. Thank you to the operator here that's present. I won't go through a long history of how we got to where we are, but I do think it's important to understand that this is not an overnight decision for the town to arrive at where we are. And so, beginning our stages a year ago, better, the town recognized the importance of transitioning period for a number of reasons. One of those reasons is rapid development of remaining areas of the island, projects, the process of tree mitigation, not out in the town. So the town is short where a lot of our great job preserving what we call the DNA of that there have been a few projects recently that have raised questions in the consistency and application of those design and nature standards. So that was one of the factors why town council pressed in that process of the town adopting its own standards. But we recognize also that this is a good opportunity now for towns to begin to administer some of these our own codes. And so landscaping ordinance, setting forth tree preservation, planting, site consideration, here. Now, within our current code, there are a few sections that do touch landscape tree preservation standards, but not robust, not detailed enough for what we would say specifically how tree removal occurs. We know all the benefits of trees, and so with this section as well as this new section that we adopted, we want to be able to ensure that our courts take the benefits of trees on the island, whether it's for habitat, for our wildlife, shade, aesthetic, buffering, areas you would never know where Arnkia are. Cited there. So crafting this ordinance in the state staff and work with our planning committee. Really goal was the objective really was to look at across the entire island, so not just commercial development, not just single family development. We want to look at rights of way, look at all of these different aspects of the island, and that will provide us the opportunity to say where are these potential today, what might be best. To look at landscape standards. Those light starting parking areas, site lighting, fencing, screening, ground cover, all of those things will be carried simultaneously work with our planning commission, and there's a number of things that we in the stages of this process. One, being designing with nature, we felt that would be great down in architectural and landscape standards, but also with how it attracts people to Cuba, such lush vegetation, native plants. Several years ago, the town created Cuba for Native. This is an opportunity to advance our initiative, or advance, promote native plants, how beneficial those are to wildlife, Kiowa, wildlife programs, and our environmental department. So pushing native plants, including ordinance, tied to native plants, UNX, comprehensive plan update process. We want to understand how these process. And also just looking at capacity, how do we enforce this, and then two, the actual areas of work. So whether it be neighborhood, right away. So this would also apply to our streets as well. For those who are online, if you have questions, to stop. So just noting that this is not an overnight process. These have been showing in public meetings since last fall that engage with the public preparing this and crafting this ordinance. Prior to this, our subcommittee and groundwork going, contacted over 270 persons. Crafting this, and there were comments and help us decide. This month, April, we got second town council, so that's now. The purpose really is to enhance the environment and really part of that, we want to recognize that how we take care of those documented or just within the ordinance, key factors that we take care of. We don't want to read details of the entire ordinance. These next bullets, I will hit the highlights to tell you that these are two of the key takeaways. So number one, this is in the process for the town. It does introduce now tree preservation standards and mitigation requirements for Kiowa. So whereas this has historically been placed in the House of Geologic Architecture, there are now standards in the town zoning code that will require mitigation as part of this ordinance. So there's someone who wants to remove trees. The town has an official ordinance that needs to look at that process. Two, this was a big one. How this is applied. So you much debate, dialogue, back and forth. This ordinance would only apply to non-single family residential developments. So single family homes would not be applicable to this ordinance. That means that there's standard single family home property owner owns a lot, you want to develop. This particular mitigation requirement is approved as a standard, not applied to it. The rationale behind that is this process now infused permitting process to our board, staff, our planning commission, and town council felt that that process is working pretty successfully. Not need to encumber the development or the timeline by us now adding in single family residential to this process. Maintenance and cleaning, so teamwork, regularly. That is part of the also does is manufactures now institutes preservation board continue to do it as their standards particular projects. So I'll talk about this in a few moments, but that tree preservation board really is established under the town's structure that would review tree preservation plans as in accordance with evaluation of this particular project or plan rather in accordance. Some of the things that they consider: how do we avoid the duplication of our permitting process? How do we ensure that now we're not adding significant delays to the process? Also introduces a few new terms. Talked about Kiowa's Real Native program already. From a implementation standpoint, it's fully into our current site management process. I'll start there with our site management process how this now applies. So today, we have a developer, property owner who wants to develop their property. This is also not in tune to not. So think about, let's see what people are doing. The people of the project that are now going through site plan review. They would attend a pre-application meeting with staff. The staff will essentially use them at time to review the project, understand what's being proposed, and then advising the applicant of the application documents that need to be submitted. They will submit a form to us. From there, staff will begin to review part of that process. It's an opportunity for us to also coordinate with other teams. That might be the community association, that might be the fire district, that might be our utility, might be the Kiowa Architecture Review Board. So they may provide comments to these particular projects regarding the application. As part of this process, if there is a variance that's required, that is something that the EPA board so that needs to be done prior to the issuance of site plan. So now that we have this landscape and tree preservation board, this will also require tree preservation plans, landscape plans, etc. to ensure that the development project is consistent with the zone code. So they will be looking at, has this applicant met the mitigation requirements? Are there too many trees? Are there the best features? And this is all the same vein as the public hearing. So whereas there was an appeal one like the board, this landscape preservation also they have final decision making authority. So they would be able to make the final decision. That means that final decision made, anyone who is unhappy about the decision, that appeals process can go to certain. So this is one of those things where this particular board, a lot of review comment to public witness as part of the application process. Property is noticed, sign is placed on the property, you be notified, rating of that type of property, be a public letter from the mayor. Let's say that applicant now has got comments and things that they essentially would use adding these like processes right here on the website process. They requirement for an applicant to submit their plans, submit their requirements with this two-step process requirements. Imagine that applicant could begin that process with the ARP. They have a phase, their site, down that same pathway of what I was just communicating regarding those things. The idea that it's in ARB today, simultaneously begin that permitting process. Like now, by the time you receive those approvals, the biggest one being if there is required for development that plan
Would phase 2, the general landscape standards, would that include or exclude single family? where staff revisits this landscape standards with our planning commission and essentially the process again. Very shortly. Then that be able to determine whether or not landscape standards and how they will be proposed, what elements will be as today, if the application is submitted, we don't have a formal tree preservation board establishment. That board is not met to establish their rules and procedures. So, until that rules and procedures are met, by town council, that will take an application to be able to board. And that requires us to approve everything. Recommendation for appointment. Town council has the final decision of appointment. Have a contact us at the that's really the substance of the ordinance.
has the ordinance pulled up. There's questions regarding the actual ordinance itself. It's really an opportunity to engage with those questions. County needs to get this ordinance.
So how does, I mean, I see I read this a little bit before here. There seems to be a really potential gray area or undefined area about how this applies and how it could be utilized with the HOAs, mainly KICA, but there are also, HOAs within or on KICA that are subsets of KICA, so to speak, with the different neighborhoods. And there's common areas that, I don't know if they're considered real, this talks about real property, and the exemptions and such. So, I guess I'm a little bit concerned that how this applies to those activities that happen on those common areas. They're not really governmental agencies, they're not utility companies, and so there's maybe a missing a missing component. You have the resort too, which, I mean, they should be considered a commercial entity, not anything else but that, but. Yeah, that's fair.
section of the ordinance, like as far as now enforce this ordinance, there are three elements like that are broken down by conditions that are those are the construction or major improvements, minor improvements. So these sections all qualify a particular plan to be submitted as part of the process. So if there is construction lot being prepared for development, that now will require tree survey, tree preservation plan. So that has not always been required part of a site plan process, but now this ordinance requires for the applicant to submit a tree survey, tree preservation plan, and landscape plan as part of the we are looking at major improvements. So major improvements thinking about repair, renovation, alteration of the site. Modified or creating certain activities greater than 25% of the lot. Those also require those same documents or tree survey, tree preservation plan, and minor improvements where those documents would not be required. However, there might be discretion, there is discretion for items that if staff does determine that there is something that we could require one of those elements to be submitted as part of the process. So the landscape plan is going to be required, or tree survey is going to be required. Definition of those trees and size, pine trees, and live oaks also fall under that special trees, and these are the live oak trees that are 16 inches and greater, kind of breast height. So those tree types fall under our specimen trees. Let's go down a little bit here to the mitigation requirements. As applications are being submitted, as stated, does not apply to single-family residential. However, the data that comes is so important for us to understand how that is applied. We are looking at tree removal, tree. This particular table qualifies as inside the tree area. So as noted, those specimen trees, grand trees and live oaks, those require a different set of mitigation standards for the protected trees. So the ordinance is really set up in a way to look at all the areas within the buildable area and all the areas outside of the buildable area. The areas inside or outside of the setbacks, those are areas outside of the building footprint of the structure. Those would be prohibited for staff or plan director. And as required in the area. So we're looking at the areas that will be impacted because of the footprint of the structure. Those would require staff level approval. Things that are not a staff level approval has been so when it comes to site development, same thing, specific trees, that is not a staff level decision. expecting that be replanted on the site. There are some criteria that are outlined based on the health and grade that is, based on there's a discussion based on their ability to utilize that they can modify those mitigation requirements. So let's say that the property owner has been able to move the tree and then place those trees now landscape plan, that mitigation plan, that particular preservation board has the discretion to say, well, there's a significant amount of trees here. Maybe it's not 100% of the trees that you wanted to. Maybe it's 40% of the trees replanted. At some of the discretion that's built in based on those criteria. So we're looking at the location, we're looking at the size, the tree type, tree grade, we're looking at the tree densities, all those things would be factors that the tree preservation board and staff can utilize in just modifying that tree mitigation. Think about this where you just say there's X number of trees being removed. X number of trees back onto that site. The landscape architect, all of the trees placed back on the site, what makes these trees survive. That maybe some of those trees be placed elsewhere. So there's built in that there could be conversations to consider mitigation for protecting all these types of all these trees can't be placed on the site. Is there a common area adjacent? Is there an area that we can place some trees that would require on the site at a different location? Following, just to note, listed standards, which is a set of standards that's very common to tree professionals. It's part of just taking care of the health of our trees. Take those properly take care of those things. Those are not going to require a permit for that to occur. Ordinance requires that to be documented and submitted to the town. That was a regular discussion. We're notified that hey, this needs to come out. The process takes 3 days to do that. It takes 1 day after now. The town will not create a liability having that tree removed. And so that was one of the things that our planning decided to do. Those types of hazardous types of trees that cause damage or potential damage to life-threatening life and property that this documentation will be required. So the last thing that I'll do is kind of briefly go over purview. So based on our code, essentially the board will have sort of 3 buckets of purview. So we'll be looking at a proposed preservation plan and being proposed to approve those conditions or denying those. And then also looking at the review for assessment of granted trees. And then also unique circumstances where an applicant does not meet these requirements, they can apply for variance for relief from this particular section. Goes to that going to the BZA for that case. So that will only apply to applications regarding relief from this particular section 12. They are defined violations associated with it. So if the town is notified of a violation of the ordinance, there are a couple things that are proposed to go that can be applied. Applicant to a property owner, fines, required mitigation are all over. I will stop there because this is not meant to be a technical review today. But if there are additional questions, feel free to send us an email. Koki Planning at KiwaIsland.org. Reach out to myself or Daniel Benson as well regarding the tree preservation ordinance. Comments or questions?
These slides will be available on the site, on the town. Okay.
Have it online. It's online, but we'll have new information about that timetable. That's the question of time. Applications are now. Prior to this exhibit, May of be present here for this. So thank you. What we'll do for those who are interested in a Verizon application